Cybersecurity threats are on the rise, and no business, big or small, is immune. Mirazon is helping companies stay protected with expert IT services, consulting, and training. Joining me here in studio is Craig Stein. He is the partner and solutions architect to break it all down. Craig, I think we've all been inundated with those emails that just don't quite seem right. Tell us a little bit more about Mirazon and the services that you provide to provide safety for businesses.
So Mirazon is a managed service provider, but more importantly, we're a technology solution provider. And what that means is that we help businesses, really of all organizations of all size, do IT right and make it support their business. And today, as you mentioned, the reality is that every organization's under attack, no matter how small they are. And for years, we saw the companies in the headlines. It's like, well, I'm glad I'm not a Target or a Chase Manhattan Bank, but now it's just literally hitting everyone.
You could be a mom and pop business and you could be shut down for days, weeks, who knows how long. Yes,
and they get in a variety of ways, but still by far the largest way they get in is by people clicking on email, like phishing. You've probably heard of phishing attacks. And so, having technology in place helps. But it's really all about educating your users. And I tell people the education isn't just about protecting the organization, because users are under attack. I mean, I'm sure you get texts to your cell phone saying, your Amazon package is running late, click this link, and that's a phishing attack.
I apparently owe a lot of money on the bridge, right? Everybody owes money for parking tickets and bridge tolls.
Exactly.
You mentioned a little bit about phishing, also cybersecurity, kind of a growing threat. What are some of the biggest threats that you are seeing with regards to that, and specifically ransomware?
Well, the ransomware is unique because what they're trying to do is, for years, the bad actors would try to steal your data and sell it. But it's not worth, sometimes data just isn't worth it a lot to other organizations. So it's worth something to you. So what they do is they encrypt it and then try to charge you a ransom for the keys to it. And so a couple ways you can avoid having to pay the ransom. One is if you have really good backups. But guess what? The bad actors, the first thing they do is get in and they want to encrypt your backups as well.
Oh my God, they're working nonstop.
They really are,
and they're to get
smart.
A dime, man.
And so, we have to be just a little smarter. But again, it all starts with education. And then, like I said, there's technology. There's things we can do to help, tilt the scale to your side. So
you mentioned this used to be something that only the big businesses worried about, or I think the small businesses think that only affects them, and that is a dangerous mindset. What can small business do? And I mean, the economy is rough for a lot of small businesses. We've had a number of events kind of here, I think, locally that have been canceled because of flooding and derby events and things like that. So what can those small businesses do that's not going to break the bank, but can stay protected, that you would suggest to them?
Well, and there's good news there, because a lot of the things that we can turn on, such as multi-factor authentication. So if you log into your email, you have a username and a password. If you then have to put in a code, and we know that's very inconvenient sometimes, but that is like the number one thing that we can implement that's actually very, very inexpensive.
Could be like the first step, the first line of defense.
It is. So we take kind of a layered approach, and it's an iterative approach. So when we start working with a new organization, we don't have to do it all at once. We can say, okay, let's start with like a really good firewall to protect your system from the bad attackers coming in on the internet. But then from there, we can, the next time they have budget, we can do some things to help reduce the threat through email, and then, get into some other things that are nice to have.
And do you do training for the employees as well?
We do, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because that is a really big thing. Like I said, education is key. September is Cybersecurity Awareness Month. And it used to be, a lot of organizations would do something around then, but it now needs to be really almost quarterly.
Yeah.
Because the threat's changing quite frequently.
It certainly is. We got to stay on guard.
Yep.
Craig, great to meet you. Thank you so much. Such important information.
Claudia.
If you would like to learn more, maybe schedule a consult, just head on over to Mirazon.com.